Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Jr., is speaking out for the first time in hopes of saving his mother's life. For years, we've seen the highs and lows of Wendy, and things seem to be spiraling downward with each new story that we hear. With reading this interview, it seems like a lot of people that are currently in Wendy's corner are not there for the right reasons. They're there for financial gain. And according to Kevin Jr., the way he's breaking it down, he himself has been cut off from affairs that deal with his mother because they know that he's there to help her. He states that her health and drinking mixed is so alarming, to say the least. It seems like he is beginning to fear the absolute worst. I don't know about y'all, but with reading this interview, it seems like a last-ditch effort to save his mother's life. We are going to get into this Wendy Williams story and so much more, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So last month, I advised you that Wendy was set to be the keynote speaker detailing her trailblazing 3-decade career at the Atlanta Women's Expo, but unfortunately, Wendy was unable to show amid health concerns. Now her son, Kevin Jr., has come forth to clear up a lot of rumors and tell us what we already kind of knew, that Wendy is in danger and the people around her do not have her best interests at heart. Now, Lil Kev took to the U.S. Sun, and let me tell you, he is a well-spoken, polished, handsome individual, and you could tell that he really loves his mother. So let's get into it. Wendy Williams' only son, Kevin Hunter Jr., fears his ailing mother is near death and blames her team for her sad downward spiral. He spoke to the U.S. Sun exclusively for his first ever interview. Kevin, who is 22, slammed Wendy's inner circle and accused them of taking advantage of her wealth, fame, and inability to make sound decisions amid her battle with severe alcoholism. Kevin said his mother's mental and physical health has been in jeopardy since being placed under guardianship last year. He believes that concerns over Wendy's health has been pushed aside while others around her are profiting from the projects she's involved in. Kevin told the U.S. Sun, "I know there are all sorts of things happening that I know in her right mind she would never agree to. As hard as it is seeing her being taken advantage of, I know that if I'm making sure she as a person is okay, that is the important thing, because eventually she's going to realize the craziness that's been going on." Now, you all may remember my video last month where I spoke about the U.S. Sun and how they said that Wendy was in the hospital in May. A lot of reports came back saying that that was not true. However, Wendy's son is confirming it. Kevin said that Wendy's jeweler turned manager, Will Selby, contacted him in mid-May to tell him that his mother was in the hospital. Kevin claimed it was the first time he had heard from Will, who Kevin often called the jeweler, in several months. Now, Kevin said that Will called to tell me that she was in the hospital and added that the last time they spoke before that was the end of last year. At the time of our interview, Kevin claimed that no one from Wendy's team, her guardianship, or the court that holds her guardianship case had told him that Wendy had been released from the hospital. He also said no one had updated him to let him know that she had allegedly been moved out of New York. Now, Wendy's rep, Sean Zanotti, gave a statement to another outlet on May 20th following the U.S. Sun's original report that Wendy was in a hospital in New York. "I can confirm that Wendy Williams is not in the hospital as reported. I can also confirm she is not in New York," Sean said at the time. Wendy bowed out of her scheduled speaking engagement on May 20th at the Atlanta Women's Expo, days before the event, due to her apparent declining health. Now, Kevin expressed his concern about the people around Wendy presently who continue to profit off of her. He says what's been made more important by people around her is that while her health may not be great, she needs to keep on earning income. And in my opinion, that should not be a priority at all. And whoever has been hired, they are taking advantage of someone who needs to get better. Kevin said his mother's health has declined since she was living with him in Florida from late 2021 to around spring of 2022. Now, he states that under his care, he said he would take her to restaurants that didn't serve alcohol. And he also had her exercising and eating healthier. Now, this is where he starts to talk about her alcoholism, and it got pretty deep. It made a lot of sense, but listen to this. He says, "I know the rate that she uses alcohol isn't like a normal person, and we've spoken about it. I've said, this is one thing where you don't know how to approach it normally, and that's fine. And it's gotten to the point where, yes, it could have the effect that might be fatal because it affects her way worse than a normal person. since it stays in her system. Now, I don't know about all of the conditions that Wendy has. However, she has mentioned her Graves' disease and lymphedema. And I do know that people with Graves' disease that drink alcohol can experience lengthening or widening eye openings, which is also known as Graves' ophthalmopathy. Now, this is a condition where the muscles around the eyes thicken and cause the eyes to protrude from their sockets. And we've all seen pictures and videos of Wendy recently where her eyes do seem to protrude a lot more than they did when she was on TV. So it seems like the alcohol is doing quite a number on our girl. Now, according to her son, who said he was in his mother's doctor's appointments when she was with him in Florida, Wendy's various ailments have a compounding effect, and her body doesn't process alcohol like the average person. There are a lot of people that are very aware that there is an issue with her drinking and how that issue may be helped, but I think these people are taking advantage of it while allowing it to play out to make it look like they aren't causing the issue. Wendy spent nearly 3 months in a Malibu rehab from August to October of 2022 for her alcoholism, and Kevin said he was told his mother signed contracts either during or immediately after her stay for working arrangements with her jeweler and manager, Will. They had her in a position where she was agreeing to a lot that she shouldn't have. When I heard that, it turned me off. And trying to attempt to know what everyone's intention is around her, at first I was like, okay, this is her team. She wants to have them around. But once I heard that she was agreeing to stuff around her rehab, I thought, well, okay, they are taking advantage. Kevin claims that when his mother does go to get the help she so desperately needs, people seem to swoop in and use the opportunity to get her alone. I feel that when it comes to people wanting to help her, a lot of it is coming from a stance of, okay, she's alone now. Let's try to see if we can make her act the way we want her to act, or if we can kind of control the rate at which she's handling herself. Kevin said he also believes his mother's team has emboldened her drinking. If they aren't providing it, they are definitely enabling a type of personality and giving her the green light to drink. After Wendy was spotted bar hopping in April, her publicist Sean Zanotti released a statement calling her night out a celebration. They're just putting their hands up. When someone's hired help, it's very easy to just allow certain things to play out. As much as someone may try to say that they're there for somebody, if you're being hired to be there, there is only so much you can say or do to that person. I never want to shame anybody, but in terms of asking if a person is there so that my mom can be the healthiest person and have a long career, stuff like that, they aren't in it for that. They are just there for the here and now. I don't want any of this to come across that I'm mad at anyone. They don't know the situation fully, and there are times when she does talk that she may sound coherent enough, and they may think, okay, she just wants to have fun. And for that reason, I will never hate, even with the hired help. Everyone is just trying to take care of themselves. It is what it is. So then he starts speaking about Wendy's unscripted project, and he said that at the end of 2022, Will asked him if he wanted to be a part of the unscripted project Wendy has been spotted filming in the recent months. The jeweler reached out to me last year, and he basically said, we are planning on this project being a way that would tell the public about what's happening. And I was opposed to it. I felt like, and I still feel like, she shouldn't be doing anything that involves putting herself in front of the camera. Now watch how they try to play this young man, and he's very smart. He says it goes back to putting working first and herself second. He's not with it. He says, I was then approached by the production, not by Will directly, a second time, and I just said no. The 22-year-old college student has always been supported financially by his mother and had in large part lost that support when her financial affairs were taken over by guardian Sabrina Morrissey in May of 2022. Turning down Will's offer to be part of the unscripted project about his mother meant he was saying no to a lucrative opportunity that could have been a financial life raft for him. They tried to offer me $25,000 to appear in the unscripted project with executive producer credit. Y'all gonna give me only $25,000 and I'm the executive producer, and y'all gonna put my mama on blast? No, sir, you're not. He said, and I chose not to do it just for the simple fact that I felt like however this came about was under a contract she shouldn't have agreed to for a project that wouldn't paint her in a good light. Good for you. Now y'all get this. When asked for a comment on various allegations against him, Will Selby said no comment because half of this stuff isn't even true. Majority of this is false. When asked for further clarification, Will insisted he saw Kevin and spoke to him in April in Miami. Will claimed, I was in Miami with Kevin. I forced him to have a conversation because he seemed a little disgruntled. I spoke to him face to face, 1,000%. I was like, if there's a problem, let's talk. If there's an issue, let's have a conversation. When pushed in yet another request for comment to expand on any additional points, Will responded, "There is so much here that is inaccurate. It's really not worth me commenting." The U.S. Sun reached out to Wendy's publicist, Sean Zanotti, multiple times, and she declined to comment. So let's get into Wendy's guardianship. So Kevin also takes issue with Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey. Wendy was placed in a guardianship after Wells Fargo froze her bank accounts as they suspected the star was victim of financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence, according to court papers first revealed by the U.S. Sun. It's been really sad what's been allowed to happen, and ever since the court hearings ended, something just has to be brought to light about what's going on and how much people are taking advantage in this situation. In terms of who was there now, people have put other things in front of her actual healing and getting better, and unfortunately, unlike many other alcoholics, she is worth a lot of money. Yes, Kevin, you better let him know. He goes on to say that I know that Sabrina has a relationship with the jeweler, and I would assume, though, that they are cool with each other. This is how this was created, and it seems like this is more about making sure he is okay. I don't know what the ultimate goal is for Sabrina as the person in charge of stuff, but there have never been articles put out saying Wendy isn't okay. Wendy's son hit out at the Guardian's handling of Wendy and her lack of communication with the star's family. I don't feel like Sabrina has done a great job at all. I think that based on her actions, I'd have to assume something is going on that she's not telling me, whether it be that she's receiving income on the side or what. But there is a lot of her pushing away of myself and everybody down here and saying that she's not going to give updates. She's really vague with updates. Sabrina Morrissey did not respond to the U.S. Sun's request for comment, and they are closing with a son's hope. Ultimately, Kevin insists that his mother absolutely should not have been working and should not continue to work, and she should be focusing on her health and her recovery. Kevin said, I think it's best for her to have to prioritize her health first. Nobody around her will tell her this, but she doesn't have to be working. She needs to take a break from trying to progress her career and just be proud of what she's accomplished. That's good, Kevin. When asked if he had a plan in all of this, Wendy's son said, the plan is that I am hoping and praying that the people who are up there in New York with her right now don't lead her down the path to where something can't happen to help her. If there was a way or if there was a plan that I could think of, I wouldn't be here doing this interview. I would be doing something that I could do. Kevin added that he thinks something has gone seriously wrong with the way things have been set up for Wendy in terms of what is or what isn't. When she was with me, none of these articles of her not looking well ever came out. When she got dragged back up there to New York City after the court hearings, that started happening. And from that perspective, something has gone wrong. Lord, I told y'all all that this was a setup. The fact that the jeweler / manager, Mr. Will Selby, is cool with Sabrina, the financial guardian, throw the whole team away. Sabrina over here looking like one of the children of the corn. Ain't no way in the world she'll be in control of none of my money. I'm really starting to miss Kelvin right now. Not because of the husband that he was to Wendy, but the bodyguard that he was to Wendy. Because when he was with Wendy, nobody messed with her. Nobody came near her. Nobody would even try her because Kelvin didn't play that. Now, I'm really feeling bad for Lil Kev right now. They really tried to tempt that man with $25,000 as an executive producer. Y'all tried to play him. No, but I personally do not feel like it's just alcohol. I feel like Wendy has probably been given some pills. The times that we've seen her, she just does not seem all the way in her right mind, and it just does not feel like alcohol to me, but I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. But I will say this. Will, Sean, Sabrina, all of y'all, if what is being said is true, you guys are all wrong, and you will pay for the things that you have done to help her get in whatever situation she's in right now, because this is not the Wendy we know. This is not the Wendy we love. We will be praying for Wendy. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about all of this going on in the world of Wendy? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new episodes.